Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ValkRivers podcast. It is lovely to do this lovely project again, and most importantly, to continue to bring out different guests, continue to bring out more and more amazing people that do streaming and content creation as well. And today it is no exception. Today we have in the pod a lovely streamer all the way from California who is a member of the 1DF Dream Team as well as the Pride and the Latin Guilds from Twitch. Um, she is a player who usually streams games around survival, adventure, indie, and team shooters. A parent of four fur babies. And on top of that, a streamer who has been live since October 2021. She's someone that I met recently, and we've been having such a wonderful time, chatting, just talking about our daily lives. So I was like, why not bring you to the pod? So, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to the podcast,
Oh,
ValkRivers.
thank you. What a lovely intro. What a lovely bio. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me
No,
on the
no.
podcast.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. Like, literally, we've
Of
known each other for
course.
like 2 months, and you were like, sure, why not?
Yeah, because we always have a great time every time we do anything together. So,
That
yeah,
is
heck
true.
yeah.
That is true. And also, like, the crazy thing is that like we met each other through the Gales. I think what we did was
Yeah.
a Marvel Rivals day.
Yeah, like a community day in the
Yeah.
Discord, just chill.
Yeah.
And that was my first time playing Marvel Rivals in months. So I was excited and very bad. But we had so much fun.
No, you did great. You did great. But did you see that apparently, like and this is something that people can take or leave. Don't trust my word 100% on this. But apparently, like the amount of players that are doing Marvel Rivals dropped significantly to now to the very few thousands, and it's like, damn, the game is actually good. So like, it is kind of sad.
It did have a big drop off. I think a lot of games are new, popular, everyone hops on, and then it kind of drops to the core player base. So
Yeah.
we'll see if it gets more hype or stays popular or what.
Yeah, I think the game does have a lot of potential. I'm not. This is not a sponsored space, by the way.
No.
But like, I think the game does have its fun moments. I will say it is better some of the games that are being that have been on the game for a very long time. Like a certain game that gets played only by daylight. That may or may not be going through it at this very moment.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. But I know they're doing their best, but also like it takes a while to understand that when you have a developer that constantly apologizes for errors constantly, then it goes like, okay, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 13 times, who are we fooling?
Yeah. Who becomes the fool? Yeah.
At this point, everyone has become the fool. But it is what it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But going back to the lovely and amazing person that we have here today,
Oh.
we've known each other for like a couple of months now, and I will say it is such a joy for me when we interact because I feel like you are such a calm soul. Like that's what you
Aw.
bring. That's what I feel like I've seen from you so far, and it's been great to get to know you.
Such a compliment.
No, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. What? But like, it is nice to know, people who are, in this. Let's just call it is in the business, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because it is like, you meet people from all over the world from different backgrounds. But in your case, I feel like you've been someone who has slowly but surely started to come out of their shell, especially like in the community setting, which I find it awesome. We'll talk about that in a little later. But before we do, I do want to talk about you per se. So you mentioned you are from California. Were you born and raised in California?
Yeah, born and raised. And I'm from uh like not like one of the big cities, but more of like a rural California, like more foothills type vibe. A lot of horses and agriculture.
So wait, so like,
Yeah.
is it like, because obviously I know Cali from like, LA, the hills, that kind of stuff.
That's how a lot of people picture. And so they think California, oh, you must be from like LA or the Bay Area or something. But in between those two places is all farmland. California actually grows, I think it's like 45 or maybe 45% of the United States is food, like fruit, nuts, and we grow a lot of food. A lot of food.
Wow. So have you learned how to grow
I
stuff?
love gardening. I have a little home garden that I do. I'm not very good. And I wasn't like raised in the business, but all my neighbors were. I grew up 5-10 minutes from barns and people who owned farms. And yeah.
That's kind of nice. I will say, surprisingly, you and I kind of have the same background in a way because, like, my family on my father's side, like, they were doing more like farming and that kind of stuff. So I was able as a kid to go every once in a while to the farm that my father kept. So I was able to interact with horses, with pigs, where I learned how to
That's
ride a horse.
awesome.
And also where I learned, this is a life lesson to everyone, if you're going to a farm or somewhere that is more on the outdoorsy, check your shoes before you put them on. Because you don't know what kind of creature you will find there. I have been told that a family member once found a scorpion in their shoe. So therefore, very important, check before you put on. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And you learn
Maybe
that
check your
for them.
pants too.
Oh, the pants too?
Depends on how country you're getting.
Okay, you got me there. So you are born and raised in this more of a rural California setting. So, and I will say you seem to me like you have learned to, from a very young age, learn how to create, learn how to, maintain, because obviously you have the rural farming background. So, what was it like growing up in around the time that you grew up?
So I definitely grew up on like when I was a lot younger, I grew up I would call it like more lower class. My mom was very young when she was pregnant with me, and she was also a single mom. And so raising 2 to 3 little ones at a very, very young age, she definitely struggled. And so at that time, we were definitely living in more kind of like suburban areas and just trying to kind of move from like apartment to apartment. But I always loved art. I was always the creative drawing, being artsy, and my mom kind of did everything that she could to not only make ends meet raising us, but supporting that as well. So, yeah.
That's good. So when you were in school, what was the quote unquote like archetype that you were in? Like when you were in middle school, high school, what was it like for you?
I was the gifted kid.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was the smallest person in my entire class, especially for kindergarten. I was definitely like multiple inches shorter than every other person in class. But I had gone through. They had like a kindergarten challenge book that they would give you like one chapter if you finished all your schoolwork at the end of the week. I had the entire book finished by like the second week. I was like
You
flying
better
through it.
work, Diva.
So they gave me like book 2. They definitely like I finished basically all of like the material that they had for kindergartners within my first like couple months of kindergarten. Did the same thing for first grade, and they went to my mom and they were like, oh, she should skip a grade. And my mom really was hell-bent against it and thought that it was very important for my development to just grow up with my peers and just like be a kid and not do that. And I'm grateful because as soon as I hit middle school, I definitely feel like my neurodivergencies in terms of I'm now diagnosed with ADHD. I feel like that started to really impact my schooling in the negative way. All of the things that I had used to excel at school had kind of I was no longer excelling. I feel like just the same as every other student. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like skipping a grade definitely would have harmed me. And like, I was like a gifted kid and in the gifted class, but I don't know how much of a difference it is when you're 5, 8, 12 years old. Yeah.
And when you got diagnosed with ADHD, does that happen during school or did that come up later in life?
I didn't get diagnosed until I was 23.
Wow,
So
okay.
much later. After college, I was almost done with my associate's degree before I had finally gotten diagnosed. Yeah.
Oh, and what did you get your associate's degree in?
Oh, environmental science. So like with yeah, like biology and yeah.
That is very cool. That is very cool, and I
Yeah.
know this because like, an old job of mine was me being a um, a counselor for international studies, and I
Oh, that's
actually did
awesome.
one event where it was we got that new university from the U.S. and we talked directly about environmental sciences because my goal
That's so cool.
was to make sure that when you are promoting these kinds of things, these kinds of ways for people to go out and experience another kind of educational purpose, you want to make sure that people know all the options. So like if you want to study, for instance, you want to study architecture, graphic design, that kind of stuff, okay, cool, those choices exist. What about the choices that you don't know about? So that's where I also focus on. Like I will do the typical quote
Oh,
unquote like career paths or study programs, but also I will focus on the ones that I will find interesting. One of those was environmental sciences.
oh,
And so that's where I learned about, that there are different studies related to plastics. There's also like different, there's like environmental sciences, but also there are different like branches for you to go through. And so
yeah. It's
that's
a big
where it's good.
umbrella term with a
Yes.
lot of yeah.
So like I find it to be very cool. And on top of that, I share with you the sentiment because I also, when I was in
Oh,
fifth grade, I had the opportunity, I got the chance to uh, not skip a grade. They wanted to hold me back a year.
oh.
And by the way,
Mm-hmm.
this was a school where I was heavily bullied. This was a school where I felt like they weren't doing jack shit. And on top of that, my mother was the one. There was one incident. This is where we're gonna get a bit too graphic here. There was an incident where I had a kid. Literally, we were in the sports field. There in that school there was like a basketball court field, a football field, that kind of stuff. We were in the basketball court, and I remember a kid grabbing me by the legs and dragged me all the way through the basketball court.
Ow.
And listen, you do not want to mess with the younger child of a single Latina mother. Because that woman came in, literally kicked the door of the coach's office, and was like, "What happened to my son?" And then she went in on the coach because, on top of that, the coach was not there when this happened. So yeah,
Honestly, she should go off.
oh, she did.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
listen,
respect
Mama
it.
Drew, which that's why we call my mother on stream. We call her Mama Drew. She is literally a lioness, and like I have learned so much about her. But also, I have been the person who not only learns about things, but also I've been the one sometimes reeling her in. Just be like, "Hey, not right now, not right now, hey."
Oh, that is relatable.
Yeah, but it is the way it is. But yeah, I completely like. It's so crazy that we have some certain things in common. It's
We
mostly why I
do.
do this podcast also because obviously some podcasts do like a lot of like maybe like like previous interviews or a lot of background checks and that kind of stuff. For this, I don't. I prefer to have it like this. I prefer to have it like an actual conversation where we can actually interact and find things in common and ways we can actually like interact. So that's the way.
Connect. Yeah. Have a more back and forth conversation. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. Because I feel like
Hmm.
you know, in this area of where we do is streaming, like we get the chance to do collabs, we get the chance to do all that, but we don't actually get the chance to sit down and properly meet the other person.
Agreed. Agreed.
So that's why I've decided to like make the
Well,
podcast.
that's awesome. Well, thanks for doing this.
No, no, thank
It's great.
you.
I love the conversation.
No, thank you, thank you. And so you mentioned that you went to, you went to a community college, you went through the
Yeah.
process, you got your associate degree in environmental sciences,
Yeah.
and then from there, what happens in between then and before you started to know what Twitch was and what streaming was? Like, what went down through those
Yeah.
years?
How did I? Yeah. So, um, even my college degree is a little unorthodox, I like to call it, or just non-traditional. I have like a non-traditional degree because it did take me, I was 20, I think 23 or maybe even 24 by the time I graduated. So that was what, 6 years to get a 2-year degree. So
It happens.
however you get it done, however you get it done. Like
Exactly.
I'm a proponent of that. And so when I turned 18, I guess my goal at the time was I had always loved art and being artistic. I was painting a lot at the time. I was trying to sell. I did face painting on the weekends for extra money, like face painting at kids' birthdays and going to like the farmers market and offering like $5 a face paint, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's
For
cute.
my whole for my whole like teen years too. I'd started doing that when I was like 15 or 16. So I was like, I really loved art, but I had this starving artist kind of mentality for it. And so I knew that I wanted to pick something STEM, something science, something. My mom was like, become a doctor, become a lawyer, a doctor or a lawyer. And I was
Dude,
like,
and the way that people don't know, it's so hard to get both. It's so
I know.
hard.
And in my head, I'm not really a people person the same way that she was. And I'm very shy. And so I was like, what if I become a doctor for animals? This is the loophole. I'll become a veterinarian. And so I went down that route. I spent 4-ish years in veterinary medicine, and also a little bit volunteering with horses, a little bit volunteering in zoo work, and doing like, helping with rhinos and giraffes and gazelles and that kind of thing.
That is so cool, though.
It was awesome. I had the time of my life. It was the most incredible career. I loved what I did. I had so much fun. It was brutal. It was tough. I feel like specifically the environment of veterinary medicine, they kind of, it feels almost like heart-wrenching at times because it is like, how do I describe this? There is very minimal pay. There is no money in it. All of zoos are basically, it's a lot of nonprofit work. It's a lot of, you're getting grants from the government. These people are not making big salaries. You're not making a lot of money selling zoo tickets. So, and that kind of stuff. Same thing in the veterinary hospital. There's a lot of cost to run these kinds of businesses. They're expensive to keep a hospital up and going. And you're charging like pet owners. A lot of people don't have thousands of dollars to spend on their dogs. So you try and keep prices low for your customers. And often that means that staff are working. Honestly, I was working less than most fast food employees at most of these states that I worked in. I worked in Iowa, I worked in North Carolina, and it was a lot better when I eventually moved back home and started working a little bit in California, and that was better. But in both Iowa and in North Carolina, I was working very long hours, nursing shifts, walking 5 miles a day, and getting paid. I was on food stamps. Yeah, like just barely able to make ends meet.
Oh.
Yeah, no, go for it.
No, so continue. Sorry, someone was calling.
Oh gosh. Oh, you're good.
No, go ahead. You can
Yeah,
continue.
so like I loved what I did and I loved the work, but it got to a point where I was working my freaking butt off and I loved my career and I loved nursing, but it was so intense and I got burnt out.
I mean, it almost is like you go through this process of, because the thing is also like when you do veterinary work or when you do, you work for the health side of animals, it is one, there's a steep learning curve that you have to go through because it's not just like, it's so, well, first of all, it's totally different from working in the health department for humans, but also like it depends on the animal, it depends on the
Yes.
species. This depends on where they were in part of the world. Because sometimes you may encounter some animals that aren't necessarily of regional fauna.
Yeah. Or
'Cause-
regional diseases too.
Yes, exactly. So there is way more that you have to learn, and also like it is unfortunate that you have to when you did those jumps from state to state and also from different areas. Then you not only giving us like an idea of what people go through during that moment, but also on top of that, like how little, like I will say the reward is more spiritual and more psychological than financial.
Yes, I feel like that's kind of relied upon, but when this is your career and you can't you can't pay your landlord with like the goodwill of saving lives.
Literally,
You can
literally.
put gas in your car with the love of animals and like all the kittens you cuddled that day. So, it's tough. It's tough. And I think a big factor in getting burnt out too, which I honestly would like to say that I'm lucky that I got burnt out because I have seen other people go through compassion fatigue, which is where you lose the ability to even care about the lives that you're saving because you're so past the point of burnt out that you're like almost dead inside, is how I kind of like to picture it. And it is a very heartbreaking point to try and get back from, and I feel like that can be a dark place. And it also is one of the highest professions with the highest rates of suicide. So it is very I'm lucky that I got burnt out and quit, but for honestly working through COVID, it was a necessary operation. You know, your animals need care, and I was working in the emergency room in the ICU and dealing with the people during COVID trying to get healthcare for their pets and having the most horrible customer service experiences. There's people berating, screaming, just awful, awful. And so, yeah, I just had to quit.
And when did you actually ended up like saying, okay, I'm done? When was it?
Um, I think it was February of 2021.
Okay.
So it's been almost, yeah, like
4 years
almost
now.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a solid 4 years, almost 5 years now.
Okay.
Been out of the industry. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned you had a terrible time, but as someone who, sorry, it's not that you mentioned you had a
Yeah.
terrible time. It's that the way that things developed turned into not being a good experience. For you.
Yes.
But I want to ask because I'm a animal lover myself.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you interacted with rhinos, with giraffes, which was one of those examples of, or can you tell us like a case that you were there for, that you were like, this is both very cool, but also, wow, that was insane.
Oh, that's such a good question. Um, I was working in the behind the scenes of a rhino exhibit, and I was I was helping watch them weigh the baby rhino, and I got to see like the whiteboard of how big this baby had grown, and I was able to like help clean up its poop, which was not the most exciting, but getting to work like the doors on the zoo of how they funnel the rhinos to make sure that you're never locked in the same room as them and how to like work the mechanics of everything. I was like, this is really cool.
Wait. As in, like, what? The audience will lock in the same room, or you as a member of the staff?
As a member of the staff,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
you don't want to be in the same room as them, but we have to go in and like clean out all of their poop out of like the big stalls and stuff. So
Oh
you
yeah,
can
because
like
animals famously don't poop. Oh.
it's like the airlock style. So you open one door and then you close another and then you walk in and then you open one door and let them out. So it's kind of like staggering. And so you're not like in the same room as them, but you get to go basically into their space and like set up all of their tree logs that they have to like scratch on and put the hay out that they're going to come eat. Yeah. Working with the giraffes was also pretty funny. And this was on my volunteer work. One time we had to climb a very, very, very tall set of stairs. It was like 2 flights in one to hang tree branches so they could like rip the leaves off of the ceiling in their barn. That was really funny because we had to hoist like giant branches up so tall. So you have to imagine a giraffe's neck, and the barns are so tall. And as coming from like horses, which already are really tall. If you stand next to a horse,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to be looking at like its belly, its shoulder. Like it's a pretty tall. A giraffe is up there. I'm small, so that was fun. They're also scared of everything, so it's kind of an adventure trying to convince them to go out on an exhibit and then back into the barn. They get a little flighty.
That's adorable. That's adorable. Well, we have plenty more to talk to with the lovely ValkRivers,
Yeah.
or I like to call her Valky. So stick around, and we'll be right back with more Mother Raiders podcasts. See you in a few. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mother Raiders podcast. Today, my lovely guest is ValkRivers, aka Balky, aka her.
Just her.
Just her. Not the singer HER, by the way.
Oh,
She's
no.
great. We have been having a wonderful time us chatting about life, about, the process of going to school and animals. But now I want to get into animals. I want to get into now to the streaming side of the podcast. So we have a question that we do here for every single guest. And the question is, when did you knew streaming was for you?
That is such a good question. I like to say that I stumbled into it. One of my little brothers was pressuring me to go live on TikTok. He was like, you'd be good at it. And then he was like, you should talk about, and then it was just whatever he was interested in at the time, which was like finance stuff. And so I was like, okay. And I started going live, and I had no idea that this was even a big deal at the time. I had like maybe 100 CCV, 100 average viewers.
What?
Yes, on these TikTok live streams. I just started growing like thousands of followers. I didn't even know. And then I realized, oh, this is actually kind of cool, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm kind of like, I like doing it. I like talking to people. I like and I never thought I would. I'm a very shy person. I'm introverted. I've always looked up to YouTubers and, content creators growing up. I was a Jenna Marbles fan, a huge fan. And so, but I never thought that I never had the dream to be a YouTuber or to be a streamer. I watched them, but I didn't care until literally just TikTok, the ease, the accessibility. I kind of just said, fuck it. And I ended up closing all of those accounts, and I hated talking about finance, and I hated all the finance bros. They're really annoying. Sorry, no offense to finance bros, but they can be really annoying. I doubt there's a lot in here, but
get them.
But I'm gonna say I doubt there's a lot in here, but I feel like that that really just kind of pushed me into, and so I restarted everything all over, and I was always a gamer and got into gaming and was like, it's kind of an oversaturated market. There's a lot of gamers out there, but I kind of want to make my mark. I want to try again, but but try with something that that I care a lot more about, and I feel like it gave me that creative outlet that I was looking for, with less of the kind of starving artist style or vibes that I feared. I could see a
Yeah.
way to maybe and maybe I'll never support myself full time off content creation, because I care about how it's done more than if it's done. But I could see a way where it could at least provide some sort of income for a way to express myself creatively.
Yeah, and also I think the takeaway here is that sometimes when people get into content creation and streaming, sometimes it's not just the usual the usual programs or the usual websites, but in your case you went through the TikTok route. But the crazy
Mm-hmm.
thing is, what was your brother so interested for you to talk about finances? Is he a finance bro?
Crypto. Yeah, he's a big finance bro. He's a
Ah.
big finance bro.
Oh, so you're
Yeah,
talking to your
and
brother, so you're saying.
yeah, he was like, look up these news and just talk about news, just talk about whatever. He was like, just like talk about whatever, and I was
He
like,
was a screenwriter. Your ghost
he really
screenwriter.
was. He really was. He was like, you should talk about this. And so here's the thing, too. I had taken macroeconomics, I've taken microeconomics. I'm pretty well versed in finance. So
Right.
I was thinking in my head that I could break it down and explain and this was kind of the way I think what made my uh, channel popular at the time was it was while Bitcoin was really, really popular, like a few
Mm-hmm.
stars aligned here. And it was me explaining basically how it worked to people, and also telling them not to buy scams like Dogecoin and like all these random like cryptocurrencies were super popular. So I was like, they're scams. Like, just don't fuck with it. This is how Bitcoin works. This is how those other scams work. It's different. Don't mortgage your house to go
Don't. No, 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 no.
fiddle with these speculative, like, this is like basically was my drift.
Remember
And he is
NFTs?
very,
Like that
yes. So
was.
I was, yeah, that was what I was explaining too, just the technology behind it, and also explaining how they were, how people were assigning value to them, and how speculative in nature that was, like how it's made up basically.
Yeah.
It's like paying for a Van Gogh, except for that Van Gogh is popular, whereas who is this random internet user?
Yep. 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 And also,
Scams.
like a lot of people who do who get popular on memes, they then get popular and then they immediately
Launch a crypto. That's a
launch a
new
crypto. That happens with the Haktwa girl. That
Haktua. I was just thinking about that. And what do you know? She did something which is called a rug pull. And the reason why it's a scam here is when they launch these coins, they own a bunch of it. And then they market it saying that it's going to be popular. And as soon as it gains any popularity, they sell everything they have. And then the coin, because they're selling massive amounts, the value of the coin drops because they're flooding the market with all of this excess. And so the people who thought it was going to be popular, went to go buy the coin to support, are now left with nothing. And all the people who started it and created it have all of your money. It's a funnel.
it's a thing that also it's Haktwa, and then something. Do you hear the Sit7 meme?
No, they didn't 6-7 a crypto.
They Sit7 a
No,
crypto, so
that
there's
doesn't
so
do it.
apparently
No.
a little internet lesson. So there
Learn
was a
from Doge.
kid that I think he was in a football game or something like that in his high school, and then they were recording it, and the camera pans to him, and he just goes Sit7, and no one knows what Sit7 means, no idea. Then the kid got popular because of the meme, then launched the crypto coin, and then what happened was that something went down, and then he got into trouble for it. And I was like, here's the thing: when you get internet famous by a meme, and you see that the immediate turn of that person not only is to A, not make merchandise, but B, go directly into the crypto route, leave them in the past immediately. Do not support
No.
the person at all, because it is more than likely a scam. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. If you are just not well versed in the crypto sphere in general, I just don't recommend getting into it with these little random hype. If there's a lot of news headlines about it, it's probably already too late for you to make any money. So just
Yeah, especially
don't
now. Like,
if you're if you are not a finance bro who studies this, stay away from the speculative, futuristic money grabs. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
yeah, that's right. But you know what is good to be true? The most amazing thing that you have done, which is that you started streaming on October 2021.
Oh yeah.
Getting back to the
That.
topic.
That was when I started
Segues.
my Twitch. Yeah, you're great at that. Keeping me on track.
Thank you, don't worry. Got you. Also a good thing that you mentioned is that you deleted when you were doing the finance streamings. You deleted the account and then you started over. Did you had the ValkRivers name, or would you had something else before?
So I had totally separate accounts, and I don't think I deleted them. I actually think TikTok deleted one of them. And then I just made brand new accounts, started from zero. I had, 8 or 9,000 finance bros following me, and I didn't want that or that history or that content to be kind of like I wanted a clean start, a fresh start. And so when I started streaming again, video games, I started with a whole new username, ValkRivers, and it was similar to the finance name that I had before. And I have still a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot, I still see a few people that followed me from my original account that still come to watch me play games.
Oh,
yes.
that's nice.
And I love them. So if you're a crypto bro out there that's watching from the good old days, you're one of the good ones. And I wasn't talking about you when I was just talking the finance bros. But they know because they come in and they ask me for stories about I went on a couple of collab streams and I just had some bad experiences, and community is tough. It's a tough dog eat dog world out there.
Literally.
But so I started with the fresh everything. So ValkRivers was the rebrand. It was Valkyrie before, and then I just added the rivers. I don't know.
And where did the rivers come from?
I feel like just my love of nature, and I really wanted the new aesthetic to have a lot of nature inspired. I was going back to school for my associate's degree at the time in environmental science, and I was gonna finish it. And so I feel like just kind of reconnecting with hanging out with my pets, spending more time with my animals, being back in the gardening. I was
That's nice.
just nature. Yeah, it's kind of somewhat similar to my my government, my legals. So it's like a little play on it. And the Valkyrie
My
comes
legals
from
send me.
my legals.
My legals. I've never heard it that way. It's crazy.
Don't ask me for my legals.
No, don't. Also, very important.
You
Do
won't
not
guess.
dots streamers. Either way, do not
Please.
dots them, please.
They'll
don't.
tell you their name if they want you to know.
No,
Just don't go looking.
We can use part of our names for this and that kind of stuff. That's fabulous. And maybe some people feel comfortable sharing their actual names. Some people are. Not everyone.
Yeah.
So just be aware that if you say their names and they don't like it, it's for a reason. And also don't.
My people know.
Yeah, just don't use
that.
Yeah. You mentioned you started October 21, and then you've been doing this for now. I will say you're actually close to your anniversary, or did you already have your anniversary?
Yeah. No, it's the 31st. I looked back and my first stream was, I guess, on Halloween.
Oh, that's so cool.
Of 21. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Crazy.
I love that so much. And do you remember what your first stream was like?
I do. I was learning how to draw on a drawing tablet, and it was really bad. maybe because like I all of my drawings I've done. Trying to see, do I have like a sketchbook nearby? I do.
Oh
I'm
my
like
God,
a
let me see.
physical artist. I come from like a history of like sketching and painting. And here, this is a chicken, okay? So I can draw,
That's
but
sick.
I like animals. Okay, here's another famous. This is a praying mantis.
Oh my God, that's
Trying to hit the lighting right.
gorgeous.
Thank you. His name is Yurgis. So I was
If
drawing.
you're listening to the podcast, Valky is showing their sketches and they are gorgeous. Just if
Oh,
you're
thank
listening by
you.
any chance, if you're not watching.
Yeah, so that is I was trying to draw. I was learning how to draw on my new drawing tablet, and it was bad because I don't know what I'm doing on that thing. Just celebrating Halloween.
Did you have the setup of like your camera was pointing at the tablet, or were you sharing screen of the tablet?
I believe that I was drawing sometimes like here, let me find a good page. Sometimes just like this,
Okay.
and just drawing with my face, so you would just get straight forehead for like 20 minutes, and then I would give you like a peek, and then straight like hold on, let me get the angle here. Yeah, like just the bald spot, just like this. Yeah, like right here. Like I look back and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing?
That
Who is
is so
she?
funny.
Those mods don't exist anymore.
Oh my gosh, that
And
is hilarious.
I think at one point I did evolve and put the software on the screen so that way when I was drawing there was like a face cam probably in the corner somewhere and then the drawing screen. Yeah, so
So you're
it was
using the
bad.
tablet. So and from there, obviously now we're about to turn 4 years since you started streaming.
Yeah.
And so from there, you have now, expanded your horizons. One, you're now you do art. Two, you do now gaming. And so you went down the route of survival games, adventure games, indie games, and shooter games. Uh, and so, do you happen to remember what was the first actual game that you streamed?
When I first started streaming at the time where I was kind of finding myself doing art, I was doing random like browser games. There's one called territorial.io, like free games. Um, Animal Party. I couldn't run very many games on my PC at the time. So I was looking for anything and everything to play, to do. It was so random. And then I got a PC upgrade and was able to redo my entire setup. A new camera as a Christmas present, and I was able to start playing Overwatch. I think Overwatch 2 was one of the first main games that I played, and then I started to try and find, I guess, my niche, so to say, in the streaming world, and from trying to learn how to draw digitally, I got really bad art block and I stopped drawing and I stopped painting for I think more than like a year or two and just was working and going to school and focusing on other stuff. And I really started just getting into, I guess my favorite thing about streaming is the storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of got into the RPG, survival, adventure, and even in the team shooters, I feel like I really lean into the story and the lore of the characters
Yeah.
and acting like them and just being silly and entertaining in that way.
No, I completely understand you. I think, you know, when you are, developing and you're trying to see, what is the path that you want to take your channel to, one, it is important to experiment and try to figure out what works and what doesn't work for you. Number two, to also figure out what is something that works for you, but that can be appealing to the people that are watching. That's also another aspect of it. But also, the third thing is to find something that is on your lane that people like, but also that you're comfortable continuing to show. So that is,
Yeah.
there's so many layers to streaming that it's just not sitting down and playing games. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the hardest part, was how to go from just sitting down and just like chatting randomly with no structure and no real vibe, to figuring out, okay, how do I really want to like present myself. And also I really just started to, I think, value my audience's time in the way of, what did I want other people to be able to take away? Why am I sharing this in the world? And really being intentional, I think, about kind of the energy that I put out into the universe, which is why I took it as such a compliment when you said I was very calm, because I feel like I really
you
try and
are
be,
calm.
oh, thank you. I try and be positive and really kind of put that out into the universe consistently.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, especially as the years have gone by and things are just getting crazier and crazier. But also, I think
Agreed.
that you started doing is that only you streaming, of course, but then you join different factions and different teams. So I want you to talk to me about the 1DF Dream Team, because full disclosure, I've never heard of this team before. So if you could explain to me, it would be
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, that is so awesome. Okay, so I am brand new to A Thousand Dreams Fund as an ambassador, but I am not new as a fan. I guess I've been a fan of them for a while now. I'm gonna pull up their Discord too, so I have the right talking points here. So
Smart.
they
That's
are
smart, Divas. Listen,
right.
yes.
Let me see. So they are an organization that supports women, and that is an inclusive, so that means inclusive of non-binary, trans, femme, kind of every
Gorgeous.
identity that is, I would say, like a minority gender.
Mm-hmm.
But they support doing fundraisers, community events, and helping uplift those in the esports and gaming space. So women who are going to school for marketing, want to go into maybe broadcasting or sports casting in terms of esports. I'm just still trying to find my notes too. This is all just off the top of my head.
No, that's amazing. Like
They
you're doing great.
they're wonderful. I love what they do. Every year they offer grants to send women to TwitchCon. They
That's
offer,
amazing.
yes, and they usually send like, I think, about 20 people. And they just recently launched their partnership with Riot Games and AWS. This is what I'm getting my notes for. So they are
Nice.
doing a broadcast cadetship program. It's a partnership with Riot, where they will send two people paid 3 months as a mentorship internship in Washington. Travel is paid for, a 3 month internship as a sportscaster in their remote broadcast center. I believe the last two people who were a part
Wow.
of this program were then hired as full-time employees for Riot. And so this is going in
Wow.
to go. Yeah, so that's their new program that just launched. Applications just opened for that. And so they help support just people, women chasing their dreams. A
Yeah.
Thousand Dreams Fund, they're funding women's dreams, giving out grants to support all kinds of things. You want an upgrade for your PC, apply for a grant. You and say what it's for. I want to use this PC to start streaming because this is what I have, and this is, or for my, whatever you're working on. They're really awesome. And so just got into their ambassador program.
That's amazing. And also the good thing is that they kind of help develop these opportunities in the, you mentioned the marketing aspect, you mentioned even in the gaming streaming aspect as well,
Yes.
which I think it's
Content
amazing
creation.
because like at the end of the day, and I found this to be very interesting when we were doing the spelling bee, which we'll talk about in a bit, that like I love seeing more women and femme presenting people doing amazing content, especially years after, uh, so much of a campaign going towards, why women are in gaming, or, the constant insult towards femme presenting people, women, trans people, non binary people in these gaming settings where they are immediately targeted, criticized, and told also many gross sentences to them,
Yeah.
and so being able to find these spaces, like the only one that I will be honest, the only one that I knew beforehand before we talk about this, because thank you for explaining it to me, was Femmes of the Fog. That's the only one I knew because it's DVD related. But like it is also very important because I, as a man, I have to recognize sometimes that where I falter is where I falter, and maybe this all happening is also a huge sign of like it's very very cool to give more women and femme presenting people the opportunity to have these opportunities. Like it is so easy to do it, but
It
we don't
is.
invest on it, and like I feel like this whole thing has just been just a blessing in disguise to like react. You have to react to things, and so like
Mm-hmm.
it is very cool that you're doing that. And on
No,
top of
that's awesome.
and on top of that, you remember the Pride Guild and the Latin Guild as well, and that's where we met. We met through the Pride Guild, um,
Yes.
and so and now we just got through an event together. We like ValkRivers was a guest of mine for a spelling bee that we just did called Spelling for a Cause. We just did one to raise money for Raíces Texas, and it was so good. Thank you again for doing the spelling bee because you mentioned you were a
Yes,
bit
of
nervous for
course.
it, but like I'm so glad that
I
you did it.
was. I had so much fun. It was so fun.
It was such a fun day. I was stressed. I was so
Yeah, I
stressed.
believe it. I believe it. But also, you were saying how it was so cool to see so many women in that spelling bee. I thought that as a femme streamer, when I go to a lot of these events, I'm expecting to be in the minority,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, in a lot of these gaming spaces, and it was so cool to see such a diverse group of people, and there was a lot of women on the team,
Yeah.
and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I think
And
like over,
yeah.
I would say over like top of my head, I apologize, but I think
Yeah.
over 60-70% of the participants in Spelling for a Cause were either women or femme presenting or non-binary or trans, which I found to be like such an amazing thing. And like I feel like
It's
that's how
cool.
things we have to, when you say representation matters, representation does matter, but also to open this space for the representation to actually exist. That's where the issue comes in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Well,
just
that's
very
awesome.
awesome. Um,
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, before we go
Um,
on a little break, I wanted to also bring up the fact that you are. And I was listening to the beautiful sounds of your dogs.
oh
uh,
gosh.
so, can you tell us a little bit about your fur babies?
Yes, I have. I guess I'll start in the order that I got them.
Okay.
Right out of high school, I adopted a stray kitty. I wanted a black cat. I had volunteered a lot in working with animals at this point, and I knew that black cats don't get adopted often, so I got a 1-year-old black kitty. I don't know how I found the most perfect cat in the entire world, but
Aw.
she's incredible. She is the queen of the house, and we love her. I worship her. My boyfriend gets a little bit mad. He says her ego's getting too big. I'm like, it is appropriately sized for being the perfect cat ever. So, the most perfect cat. And then I got a German Shepherd, total
Oh, love
opposite
them.
of the perfectest cat in the world. I love my German Shepherd, I do, but he is 200% dog, is how I like to describe it. There's just a lot of animal going on in that crazy thing. He's got zero body awareness, just like knocks stuff off the table, and is just like, he's very smart, wicked smart. He knows 2 dozen tricks maybe, and you can talk to him like you would a toddler. go back up, go lay down on your bed, and go chill out, and he'll go do that. But he's also a little bit of a nutcase. Then we have Rhea, my golden retriever, sweet little angel baby, loves snacks and children because they feed her snacks. She's a couch potato. She's chill. Let's see, the shepherd is I guess 8 now. Just turned 9. He just turned 9. The golden just turned 12. She is getting there in age, slowing down quite a bit. And then the newest addition to the zoo is my 3-legged kitty. He was a little porch cat. His family kind of had like this stray that they were feeding and kind of adopted. A lot of people have had that kind of situation. And then this stray porch cat kitty got sick, really sick, and he needed his leg amputated, and they couldn't afford. That's like a $1,500 surgery, and Jesus probably maybe $500 in veterinary care. So since I was a nurse at the time, they ended up donating him to a rescue, or just giving him up to a rescue, and the rescue paid for all of the surgery, paid for everything. And instead of him recovering in a hospital, I just took him home and just nursed him back to health and kept him.
Oh, that's so
I adopted him.
That's so
yeah,
sweet.
So he's my little shy guy, but he is attached like a little shadow or a leech to me, and is scared of life and everything, but he loves being a house cat now. He's 100% indoors now that he lost his limb, and my cats are inside. So yeah, that's the tour of the 4 crazies.
The crazy 4. Also, I kind of want to ask you, because you mentioned a very interesting fact, that you mentioned that black cats don't have a lot of, there's not like a high adoption rate. That's insane. I didn't know that.
All black animals, both dogs and cats, I think they spend twice as long or up to 3 times as long at the shelter, something like that. Don't quote me on the numbers, but there is a very statistical significance in they spend like usually 3 months at the shelter versus an orange cat might spend a day or 2. Everyone loves orange cats. And so I knew that I wanted to find like a black cat. Also, kittens are adopted at a much higher rate. So I adopted cats that are over the age of 1 year. And I always do that. When I got my 3-legged cat, he was roughly 3 years old at the time. So in my head, a disabled 3-year-old cat is probably not as adoptable as a kitten. So I'm not a kitten person. Hot take. I hate them.
You just so happen to find 2 cats that are very cool.
That are all that's how I was not luck. It's because I don't like kittens. I wait until their personalities have leveled out, and then I pick based on the adult cat. It's smart. It's just
You said, I'm not giving anyone bottle.
I'm not
giving
rolling the
one
dice.
anything.
I just don't want to roll the dice. Sometimes they're crazy as kittens, and then they're calm, sweet as can be. They hit a year old and they just kind of level out. Sometimes they're just a little wild.
That's so hilarious. Well, I'm glad that you have been able to have these beautiful animals with you, and also like I love the idea that you didn't let a certain disability or the absence of a limb be a determining factor of whether or not you wanted to welcome this beautiful animal into your life, which I find it very cool. And I want to see pictures of these cuties.
Oh yes.
Please send it to me
I'll
after
show
we're
you.
done. When we're done with this,
I will.
please send them to me because I want to see them. But we have more to discuss with the lovely ValkRivers, and we'll be back with more Mother Earth podcast. See you all in a few. And we're back with more Mother Earth podcast. Today, my lovely guest is ValkRivers, aka Valky, aka the she/her. We were discussing in the break, and it was like, oh yeah, when people were signing up for the spelling bee, it was like, there's a lot of she/hers in here. I love. Not only a member of the 1DF, 1,000, the 1DF was 1,000?
Yeah, 1,000 Dreams Fund.
1,000 Dreams Fund. Okay, okay, I was right. 1,000 Dreams
Yeah.
Fund member, as well as a member of the Pride Guild, Latin Guild, as well as the Women's Guild on Twitch. So it has been such a lovely time for me to talk to this new friend of mine that we made this year, and it's been very, very cool. But I do want to bring up the fact that, this is called a ValkRivers podcast. We have our mods, we have a mod team, that kind of stuff. But sometimes there are moments where we have to be our own mods. So sometimes we have to make sure that chat is handling themselves correctly, things are going fine. And when things go a bit iffy, there is the option to either allow or block things in chat. So I made a mini game called Allow or Block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present you with situations, and then you're going to mention if you allow them or block them and why. All right?
Okay.
The
This is
first
awesome.
one that we're going to discuss is in-stream shopping. Now, what this is that the lovely Zach Busey, I sometimes follow this person because they put out a lot of news about Twitch and that kind of stuff, and they just mentioned that Twitch is launching a native in-stream live shopping that will allow users to purchase a product without ever leaving Twitch. So in that case, are you comfortable or not comfortable? Are you allow or block that is happening?
Ooh. Shopping without leaving Twitch?
Yeah.
Like, is it like in stream? Like, you click on like the streamer's chair and you just like check out from Amazon,
That
and
would be
you
very cool
don't
if they
leave
did that,
Twitch?
actually.
Yeah, like, what is it? What kind of shopping?
Apparently, right now, it's only through, right now, will be Elf Cosmetics. That's the first brand that they're going to be working with.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be an L for people who struggle with online shopping, if that's like an issue that you have. But it could be a win for advertising because you don't have to leave the streamer's page. So I'm gonna allow on terms of I won't be a hater to other people's fun. Maybe I don't love the idea, but I'm not gonna yuck someone's yum if that's your thing.
Yeah,
Not my thing.
Also, the thing is, like some streamers, but not all of them, sometimes they do have the descriptions of their equipments on their about pages. So that and sometimes they go even to the next level that they put the link of the actual equipment in their about pages. Like, equipment is this microphone, is the link to go to Amazon, because obviously.
And it's in
Amazon.
their Amazon affiliate link. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about the other one because that's not who we work for. But yeah, so I will say allow, but I want to see more. I want to see how it gets pushed.
How it's implemented.
I do think using it for cosmetics first, I think is a smart idea, because there are a lot of people that do, in fact, do makeup streams or get ready with these streams, and they could be benefited from doing things as if they're using of cosmetics, for instance, they could be greatly benefited as well. So who knows? This is not a spot for sponsoring for of cosmetics. However, if you decide to send something to ValkRivers or myself, we will not be against that.
Wait, they are. Wait, yeah, if you want the actual sponsored stream, that'll be on November 2nd. No, I'm serious. Sponsored by Elf.
Really? Work.
Yeah. No, the actual sponsored stream will be on November 2nd. No free promo right now.
No free promo
but
right
come
now.
back on November 2nd, and we will be talking a lot more about Elf. Yeah, they're sending me some stuff for Halloween.
Amen to that. See how we do that? That is called what?
That came full
Marketing.
circle. Marketing, a little self-plug. Also, I didn't know that they were doing that, but that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It literally just got announced, so don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Allow or block AI video games.
Vomit. Block.
Same.
Banned.
Sam, I
If you don't care enough to think of the idea yourself and put forth your passion into the world, I do not care to consume your art. There are too many video games in the world to play that are so much more fun than whatever a computer can design for me.
I agree. I agree. And also, I put this up because I was, these different websites that offer keys for video games and that kind of stuff. So I was going through one. It was like a gothic visual novel. That sort of kind of visual novels are sometimes games that that appeal to me.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. And then at the end goes, and this was done by AI. And I'm like, and we're closing that screen right there. Thank
Just
you.
kills
very much.
everything.
It kills everything. It does. And also, it's not even the fact that people use this tool to do the games, but sometimes they use that tool to create voices for the games. And that is also a thing that I genuinely don't like whatsoever. Like, I'm so pro of having actual actors, actual programmers, actual designers to create the things that they create because like it makes the game more personal. It doesn't matter if the game is good or bad at that point. It doesn't really matter. It's the fact that someone made it. That's what the highlight is for me.
I think so too, and I like to think that the ingenuity of working with restricted resources without just being able to punch into a magic computer, create me said thing, having to work with the tools that you have is what gives the game the spark of life, the creativity, the desire, the draw. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to have perfect visuals. You can have raw, meaningful visuals or whatever it is, or more meaningful voices. Working with what you have, I feel like make such a cooler experience.
I agree.
Such a better story, better game.
And especially something like I just finished doing Latin American Games Showcase, and there were so many talented creators from different parts in South America, and they poured their hearts and souls into these amazing projects that I couldn't cover them all, but the ones I covered at least, I was very, very impressed. And either way, regardless if the game is good or bad, whether it's a game that appeals to me or not, the fact that you can make a game is such a I give you so much respect. Like I just do. Like it's not easy thing to do. So like major props to everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, allow or block music playing that is DCMA approved.
Approve. Or
when I say DCMA approved, I mean not one that is the most popular, but it's at least a music that allows you to be on stream.
Oh, allow. I'm a fan of. I mean, I wish copyright restrictions in general were looser for, but I'm also a fan of protecting artist rights, and I do not play any copyrighted music on my stream. I'm very big about that. Or anyway, I don't like to reuse anything that is copyrighted. Even my little TikTok shorts and stuff, I only use either the sound that is allowed through TikTok or copyright free with all of my repurposing of all my content. So DMCA approved. You can find some good stuff out there. You gotta dig. You just gotta find, you gotta dig.
Yeah. In my case, I use mostly music from two different people, but I directly asked them, can I use your music for streaming content? And they went, yes, you can do that. It was like fabulous. So whatever happens, I have their yes, and it's written. So there's whatever happens, I can just be like, screen grab. Like I have the permission to play this. And they are streaming. They're mostly like instrumental music, so that also helps out for my streams because that way I don't have to, like, do I want to play, like, for instance, the latest single of Hayley Williams because she's popping off right now because she's amazing. Yes, I would love to. Will I want to play the last showgirl, the thing, whatever, that the 38 different albums that Taylor Swift just dropped? Maybe if I would like her, yes, but like not really. But like it is like. I can understand from the perspective of like not doing things that will cause something to be copyright strike, because it is very important to make sure that everything you do has some sort of permission to it. And so like I will say, if you don't do it, it's not the end of the world. you can play the copyright-free music. It is fine.
There's some good stuff out there for sure. Honestly, there was an artist that makes copyright-free music, and their music just went viral like last year or something. I highly recommend Masso Beats, Masso, Masso Beats, something like that on YouTube. They make copyright-free music, and it's really cute. Really cute, popular, trendy. Like, you can find good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And finally, allow or block. I know the answer to this one, but I just want to do it anyway. Women in gaming spaces.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. More women in gaming spaces. We need more women.
I agree.
I know. I was talking with Drew about this on the break, but out of all of the streamers, out of the top 100 earners in the streaming space, like 2 of them are women, maybe 3, maybe 5. And it's not also just about earning, but it's about kind of, we just need more representation. And the studies have shown that women nowadays make up about half, depending on the space, sometimes more, of all gamers. So I know there are women gaming, but there's not a lot of representation. There's not a lot of good games with female leads, or it's getting better. The space is getting better.
It's been getting a lot better, thank God.
I heard Ghost of Yotai. I've seen really good things about that.
Yeah.
Good things about
Erika shout out.
I've heard there's strong character development, and so I encourage women to be louder about your gaming. If we're half of all gamers, there should be more games for women that are beyond Stardew Valley. I love Stardew Valley and I love Animal Crossing, but more,
drag them, carry on,
like,
please.
expand. Yes, like more games for women that are also like, we need a good horse game. I've been asking for a good horse game, but like, there's no good horse game. Red Dead Redemption 2, that's the best horse game.
I think there was a game that came out. I need to find it, but I believe it's a horse racing game. But I also think the ladies who are in the horse racing game are a bit too I could be wrong. I haven't seen the game myself, but I believe that they are a bit too, curvy in the right places. And so I believe, do not quote me on this. I have yet to see gameplay of this game, but I know there's a horse racing game about this.
We need a horse game for horse girlies.
Yes.
That is not curvy. Like,
yes. Where is the horse girl represented? Where?
Right?
I agree.
Where's the horse girl rep? and all the other gamer girls that want, like, whatever you're interested in. If that's FPS games or team shooters or things that are oftentimes male dominated, there's a lot more women than you think gaming. Be loud about it. Yeah. Unmute the Girls. That's another organization.
That's an actual organization?
I
love that
name. I think there's Steffi Evans and bestie. I'm trying to think of that. I think Steffi Evans is one of the founders. But yeah.
I love that name so much. Unmute the Girls.
Yeah, Unmute the Girls. Unmute the Girls.
Unmute the Girls.
More girls in gaming.
I agree.
Hell yeah.
That was Allow or Block. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's talk now on the technical side of things. So, please share with us what kind of equipment do you use. If you don't know the names of the brands, that's totally fine. You can be vague and say microphone, camera, that kind of stuff.
I have a list. All right, so the camera that we have is the Logitech Web Pro webcam 1080p. I believe it's 30 frames per second. And it's like the square cube shaped one. If you, not like there's like the long thin ones. If you're looking for the exact model, it's like the more cube shaped one. If you know the Logitech cameras, then you know. Okay. And I have all of my specs listed down. My microphone system, the microphone is the Audio Technica 2040. Hold on.
Hi,
The
hi,
2040.
Mike.
Hello. It's cute. Mic arm is the Elgato stream arm. I don't know. They only have like one. Um,
Wow,
the
Gato.
microphone they have like one microphone arm. They don't really have a lot, but it's the or maybe they do have two. It's the sleek design. I forget what they call it. It's like
Ooh, so fancy.
it's just like it's supposed to be like a smaller contraption. Normally you see the mic arms that are like these big giant like desk things, and this model, yes,
Mine.
is smaller. Okay, let me see what else we have. Okay, so the Audio Technica 2040 is an XLM mic, meaning that it is not a USB mic. You can't plug it in. I have to have a separate audio system, and for that I use the Elgato XLR, which allows one mic slot, one headphone jack, and then I also do use a stream deck. I
Okay.
would consider that pretty critical to my production setup here. I have three cheap, really cheap, like ring lights from Amazon. Shitty, just like the cheapest you can get. And then let's see, PC specs. I'm just gonna go over the main PC specs.
Okay.
And I have a list here, specs. Okay, case Lee and Lee. CPU. I'm just reading off numbers. I don't know what this means.
That's fine.
Asus Prime 1200. This would be 11th, 10th gen. Processor i5 104000F. My GPU is a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. So pretty good with 8 gigabytes. No, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 216.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
And then my power supply is pretty nice. It's the RM850X, the gold series. I don't know. And then a water cooling system. My mouse is the G502 Hero high performance wired gaming mouse. I prefer wired headset,
Amen to
which
that.
it says on my specs that it's the Pro, but this is the Audio Technica. I forget which generation it is. It is not the latest generation, but one generation back, like the M2 or something. Okay. Yeah, and then 2040. Okay, perfect. Logitech for Creators StreamCam. Apparently my StreamCam is 1080p, 60 frames a second. So that's everything.
I will say, I think this is the first time on the podcast that someone has actually gone to the specifics on the specs that they have. So
Important.
Major respects to
Thank
that.
you. I was like, I have a list for that.
No, that's very smart. I would say
down.
that is very smart. So like, major shout out to you. That was amazing. And also, who does your emotes?
Oh, I have that written down too. So the person who did my emotes, I believe, is no longer on Etsy. I've been streaming for so long. But so it was Cozy Streams, COZI. I went back to the shop to try and track it down to send it to someone else. They're gone. They're gone. I can't even find somebody similar. I do recommend going on Etsy. It is really hard to find these days because of AI artwork. So be careful of that. If you see somebody posting new artwork every single day, they're probably generating it and not creating it themselves. I do have to say that my layout and assets I got from OniRift, ONIRIFT.com, or on Etsy. And they did my whole stream layout, all of my starting soon screens, all of my transitions and panels, and the way that their packs are set up. They give you every single individual little leaf, lantern, bar, panel,
Beautiful.
blank, so you can create it yourself and make whatever you need with all the same branding. So they give you like pre-made layouts and the abilities to make your own, which I find really awesome.
I love that too. I think that is a very smart approach to creating overlays, and also a way to also allow you to play with the different assets, so that way not one design is always the same. So I think that's very smart.
Yeah.
Also, again, I love knowing names. I love hearing that. That's very cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will actually agree with you on that. I will add also as an advice too, if you see channels and you're like, oh, I don't wonder what the emotes are like. Sometimes the streamers themselves will tell you, hey, yeah, this person made it, and they did redirect you. Maybe they'll even go to the extra mile and send you the link to they can go. For instance, the one that I'm currently using, who's Roy Art, I got it from a previous guest of the podcast, Sam the Ferocious, that I saw that he did his emotes, and I went to the Roy's Fiverr, because sometimes you can also find things on
Fiverr.
and then that's where I've been able to get my emails ever since. So like, Roy is fantastic as well.
That's
So
awesome.
one last thing, because you've been doing this for almost 4 years now. You have your anniversary on October 31st. What has been a lesson that you have learned from streaming that you wish you knew when you first started?
Hmm. Um, that is a good question. I would say that the space moves really quickly, like faster than real life at times. It feels like I'm always behind, like I always need to catch up, like there's a trend I'm always missing out on, and there's something always going on. It's always going to feel like that. But focus on what the intention is that you're putting out on there, and putting out something that you stand behind, that you enjoy, that you love, that's not perfect. And just like, I don't know, posting something is better than not doing anything and just being anxious about it. I don't know.
Yeah, also, by the way, you're gonna have the anxiety regardless.
You're
Just
gonna have
gonna
the
have it.
anxiety regardless. You might as well fucking post it. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
I feel like people look at other streamers or look at other YouTubers or content creators and they're like, damn, like I'm not as good as them. And you know, you see all the trends you're missing out on. I should have done that. I should have done this. I should have done that. Like, honestly, it is there's always so much going on. The only way that you're going to get better at posting or streaming is doing the thing. Just
Yep.
do the thing. The other stuff will come.
I agree. I agree. So, my lovely Valky, thank you so much for doing this podcast. It's been very, very fun.
Of course.
I genuinely appreciate you being here. And one final question is that when we usually stream and we go live and we finish stream, we like to always try to find someone to write out to share the community, to share the love, that kind of stuff. So I want you to picture this. Everyone that you know is currently streaming. Everyone. If you had to rate into someone today, who would it be and why? And because I am very gracious on season 2 of the podcast, I will give you 2 options. Not just one.
2 options.
2 options.
Okay. I get a raid twice.
Yes.
Okay.
the weird
Because
second
that's so
raid.
hard. That is so hard. Okay. Let me think about it. I am a chronic lurker on Twitch. I love supporting my friends while they're streaming. I'm often silent though and shy. So I am like hidden in chat, you know. I would say there's one streamer that I've watched grow for a really long time. I met them on Threads, and then I've watched them become better and better and better at streaming and just grow so much on Twitch, YouTube, Threads, and like posting all over the place. That's Stinky Binky Games. So if she was live right now, I would raid her.
Okay.
And then one of my moderators also streams, and he always streams so early that I wake up by the time his stream is ending, and I hate it. It's so sad. So I would raid one of my mods, because not only are they an incredible member of my community, helping the Discord, helping me with my shit, but they also make really great content and are very bad about promoting themselves. And so I love their streams. They're a lot cozier than mine. They play a lot of Pokemon and stuff, but that's Riff Raff Giraffe. Yeah.
Oh, I think they and me are going to be like obsessed with Legend CA. because
Legends, EA.
Legends. The way I stream, we're doing this on a Thursday. I stream on Fridays. So the way that I have been dodging Twitch today, so I don't get spoiled, even though there's a lot of leaks as they are already out there. But I have been trying to be like the good little person, so that way I don't get spoiled for it.
Just hiding.
Yeah, just hiding, just fully hiding. You know, everyone is playing it, but that's fine. Well, ValkRivers, thank you so much for doing this. I genuinely appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This was so fun.
I appreciate you. You have been such a joy to interact with, to talk to. Like, I feel like you and I have been able to really have like a really chill hang. And also now that I feel like I know you a bit better, which is absolutely amazing. Can you please tell us where can people find you and what is your usual streaming schedule like?
Yeah, you can find me at ValkRivers on all platforms. I mostly stream Tuesday, Thursdays, in the afternoons. I'm like always late, so just Tuesday afternoon, evenings, depending on your time zone, depending on my day too. But I also post on Threads a lot, Instagram sometimes. I'm really focused on YouTube. So for this next year, I really want to work on some long form videos and uploading my Fallout 4 first playthrough. I have that fully recorded and I'm excited to get that uploaded. Yeah, so yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Please go check them out, please. And also you can find me at Asdruboi everywhere. I go live usually 5 days a week, usually on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the afternoon, evening, EST, usually after 4 or 5 p.m. EST, you will find me. And Saturdays and Sundays, I am live in the mornings at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. EST, respectively. So you can find me also there. And you can find this podcast on YouTube, where you can watch the video form. You can find it on Spotify, where it's only audio, and wherever you get your podcast as well. If you love the content, if you continue to enjoy these episodes, please comment, give a follow, give a like, share with us your favorite moment of the episode, and please go follow this lovely and amazing human as well. That was ValkRivers right there. Thank you so much again, Valky, for doing this. I appreciate you. And I will be seeing you all and hearing you all next time on the Mother Earth podcast. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We did it, Diva.
We did it. Oh, that was so fun.